Back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us. Investigative reporter here at News Channel 5, Ben Hall, just with a really, I think, important piece that he did on White County. If folks just now saw that. As you said, since this story first aired, it's really kind of taken off in terms of being picked up by other media outside this area. Correct, Ben?
That's right. It's rare that I've seen something take off like this. But we've had The Hill, which is huge, The Guardian, which is out of the UK, Huffington Post, the New York Post. This has gone everywhere.
Yeah.
If you go online, you'll see this almost anywhere. Yeah.
What transcends the story and the tragic loss of life here, which is really at the essence of it, is, I think you know, what the sheriff says.
Right. Because it's one of these moments where you're getting a sense of his true feelings.
Right.
When he says, you know, I gave that order and all that, it just, when it gets down to I thrive on this,
right,
that's disturbing.
That's where it seems to cross over the line. That's why I'm a little disappointed in the DA down there, not saying at least I'm going to revisit and look a bit. It just makes no sense to me that based on these new things that he doesn't.
Yeah, he didn't say, all he said was, you know, I don't condone or support his behavior or comments.
Okay.
I think he would say something to the effect of that was an excited utterance, you know, it was in the moment.
But it doesn't change his determination that based on what he saw, it was a justified shoot. And I guess that's right. I mean, truly, the sheriff's comments, well, I mean, I don't know. The fact that they shot comes down to whether or not, for me, the officers felt there was risk at that moment to themselves or the general public.
Right.
And he determined, regardless of what the sheriff said, there was.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, based on what I saw, I don't think so. And it makes it worse when you hear what the sheriff said, but maybe there's something I don't know that I haven't seen, and maybe that you haven't seen.
Maybe.
What other evidence would there be?
I don't know. There's a lot of body cam out there, a lot of body cam video and dash cam video, and I believe we've seen that.
Well, if that DA was smart and he knew about that, he needs to release, hey, here's another clip where you can see him turning around, heading straight for a deputy. If I see that, I might change my opinion. But based on what I saw there, where's the risk anymore? I don't see it to come out firing on an unarmed man in a vehicle.
They might say that he was trying to hit and ram the deputies' cars. It appears from the body camera that we saw, they were trying to maneuver him off the road, kind of guide him off the road. This was, again, a truck, an old truck that was loaded down with a trailer. It couldn't go very fast. It probably would have run out of gas in a short period of time. You can't imagine, can you imagine Metro Police doing something like this? You can't imagine that. But I think they would say that this driver, Michael Dow, was attempting to ram police cars.
I don't see that.
Question that.
It was the police cars trying to ram him to get him off, which, by the way, is a legitimate move sometimes by officers to stop a vehicle. But I didn't see him doing that, and he was going slow, and he's dragging that big thing with junk in the back.
Right.
I mean, all right, let's see what some of our viewers think. Let's go to Joe. Joe, good morning. Hey, Joe. Oh, we just lost Joe. He's going to be bummed about that. Let's go to Ethel. Hi, Ethel.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good morning.
What I was have to say was, okay, watching that clip is very disturbing. It's hard to really watch. And my heart goes out to the family. But then, too, I would like to say that for that special reason is the reason why me being African American is the reason why that we despise some polices and we are afraid of all of them because we never know when they're going to do something like that. I know this was a white man, but still, no man has the right to take from another man that which only God can give, and it's life itself. And I think that the judge, I think he oversteps the boundaries. I do think that it should be brought back to court, and these policies need to be prosecuted until they start prosecuting some of these policemen about the wrong things that they do and the way they treating people like they dirt, animals, trash, garbage. It needs to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of the comments here, and thank you for your call. Most of the people are saying, yeah, there's a problem here, but I mean, you've heard from some, and I believe it's got to be the minority, unless you're just, I don't know, blind and don't care, but I mean, that are saying, well, I don't see a problem here. What is their argument?
In the best possible light, you could say, again, all right, number one, he should have pulled over.
Yes.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. He should have pulled over. Number two, he's on a public road. There's a a chase going on. Is he putting the public at large at risk? There's an argument, yes, that he was. Is he putting law enforcement at risk by, again, not pulling over? There's an argument, yes, he was.
Sure.
Now, that would be, in the best possible light, that would be their argument, that he was putting the public at risk, he was putting law enforcement at risk, and that was the reason for doing this. Now, again, we're not talking. It was driving on a suspended license. One county had kind of backed off the pursuit, the other county took it over and really escalated it. And so I think both sides have an argument here. I think a lot of times these things, they're investigated, they don't get tons of scrutiny, and then they just kind of go away. This happened in April. It's just now coming to light. The interviews are with officers. Officers say, yeah, I felt threatened. My life, I felt threatened. And imagine if you're in that moment. I feel like there would be a lot of adrenaline, and it would be scary.
Sure. They
don't know whether he has a gun or not.
Right.
Now he didn't.
Yeah, they didn't know, in fairness. Look, Ben, I'm one of these people when we have these cop-involved shootings, I almost always give the benefit of doubt to the police because I know what a difficult, hard job they have. And they don't know. They didn't know he wasn't armed. We found out later, I suppose. But when you have evidence like this, it's not blind where if an officer does something like this, you just automatically say, no problem. You got to look into it at least, more especially with what you've uncovered. Do you think there's any chance higher authorities could take a look at this beyond the district attorney? What I mean is at the federal level, the Department of Justice. I mean, this clearly, based on the way it played out and based on the sheriff's comments, I think could raise to a civil rights investigation.
It could. I think this is getting scrutiny now that it never got before.
Because it's gone national.
Right, because we've reported it, because it's out there now, and there's all kinds of scrutiny now. So something like that could happen. To me, the concern is the sheriff and his frame of mind.
He said nothing to this point because of the lawsuit.
Right. We called, asked him for comment, and he referred us to an attorney. He hasn't said anything. But his frame of mind is what's most disturbing. When he says he thrives on this, it's clear that he was disappointed he wasn't there, and then to give the order and to be so proud of the order, and then to have, it seems, more concern about whether his cars were damaged than the fact that someone here has just died. That's all concerning. And so what he said afterward to an officer who was upset after having shot. There's another officer, and there's body camera video. There are two officers that shoot. We see the one, and he's emotional in the car. The sheriff comes up, says, I took it away from you. You know, you did the right thing. You did as you were ordered. It wasn't up to you anymore. I told you to do it. There's another officer, and on body cam, he says, you hear him say, I think I'm going to be fired, because he's concerned that he just shot someone without justification.
Yeah.
But again, they were following the order of the sheriff. He had given the order. He was not on the scene. It's unusual for that to happen. He was driving there from a different part of the county. He just said, take that guy out, use excessive force, deadly force if necessary.
And that's another thing, frankly, I have a little problems with. I understand following orders, but officers also get training in this type of thing. And I can tell you right now, I can have my boss tell me to do something that I know is wrong, and I'm not doing it. You know, at what point do you say, well, you know, he told me to shoot him, so I did it? I mean, how about using some judgment? You're at the scene, because let's keep in mind, sheriff was at the other part all the way across the county. He was not there when he gave that order, witnessing what was happening. He just heard scanner traffic and said, shoot him. I mean, he wasn't even there. I mean, I hope the officers say, well, I hear what the sheriff's saying, but he's not here. I'm observing something different here, maybe. Maybe I should use a little more discretion before I pull the trigger. I'm just saying, I don't know. And again, the DA found no wrongdoing, but I have a problem with anyone who blindly follows orders. I just do. I'm just thinking, and I know you. There's certain things that we would be told to do in this business, and I'm going to just look them in the face and say no.
Right.
If I don't think it's right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of your calls and comments right after this.